Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another evening of NGS action. My name is IceX and I am bringing you tonight a spur of the moment, last minute NGS Division E East matchup between the Tar Pit Tipplers going up against Wood League Airlines. This was originally going to be cast over on Sparhawks, but he had a family emergency come up, so he needed to drop the cast. I was able to fortunately be able to pick this one up, and this is going to be a fun one. I was really glad this one was going to get cast because I wanted to watch this one. Now I get to watch it and cast it, so good things coming in here. These are two top teams currently in Division E East. The Wood League Airlines are sitting in that number 3 spot. The Tar Pit Tipplers are currently sitting at that number 5 spot. Wood League Airlines are at a 6-1 record. Tar Pit Tipplers sitting at a 5-3 record so far. But these teams have yet to play each other, and they are ready to duke it out here. Need to give these shout outs before we get, and I do have to apologize to everybody beforehand. I did get my booster today, so it is, my left arm's feeling a little dead right now, and, the third one is always kind of fun to get. And so we're gonna be seeing if we can get through this thing. Starting to feel a little bit of the effects. Should be feeling fantastic here going into the rest of the series. But have to throw out the shout out to High Admiral. Thanks for the resub, coming in for 4 months. Definitely appreciate it. And Haas coming in with the follow. And I mean, for those who don't know, just starting it off on September 1st, we are doing the fundraiser, subscription fundraiser for the IceX avatar tattoo. If we get to that magical number of 1,500, we will get that thing tattooed on whoever is currently the bit lead, or whoever is the bit leader when we hit that number 1,500. They get to choose the location, maybe live streamed. So it'll be a whole thing. It was kind of just brought up. It was this like joke that originally started. And they were like, let's see what happens. We're currently at 4. In the last 2 days, we have gotten 4 subs, and we've gotten a lot of bits sharing because people want to get to be the one to choose the location. But anyway, let me get you guys over to the maps real quick before we get into this lobby. Tar Pit Tipplers, they won the coin toss, wanted first hero pick, meaning Wood League Airlines. They were the ones who got to pick the map. Bans went out. Tomb of the Spider Queen Dragonshire banned by Wood League Airlines. On the blue side, Tar Pit Tipplers, they banned out Towers of Doom and Sky Temple, and we're going to go to Infernal Shrines to kick this thing off. Kind of a lot of fun there. Good, solid, classic Heroes map. Both these teams are in the lobby, ready to go. Mighty Mouse coming in. Mighty Mouse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 coming in with a follow. Thank you so much. Welcome to the channel. I'm trying to be as upbeat as I possibly can. So I will try to bring a lot of flavor. Those who are regulars of the channel may start to notice a little bit of shakiness and tiredness. But for those who are new to the channel, this is what you're going to get tonight. OG Tunnel Snake coming in with the follow. Thank you so much. Welcome to the channel. And here we go, drafting on Infernal Shrines. Don't know what either of these two teams play. It's always fun when we get down to these, Division C, D, and E, because they seem to focus more on comfort bans rather than like the true meta bans kind of deal. So we typically see these teams doing a lot of research, focusing each other, and getting rid of the comfort picks on the other team. But if we're looking at meta picks, Champ Pool, got to get rid of May. Got to get rid of potentially like a Johanna. Anything that has really good wave clear. A Bruiser Lane, got to get rid of that Sonya if you don't want to deal with this. Is one of her best maps. Zool can come out very strong. Sometimes Diva can be there as well, and it's going to be the May band first. Looking at those healer pool, Stukov, one of the better champions. Deckard, this is one of his stronger maps as well. Anduin, always a strong showing on any map, but the number 1 healer is Brightwing, with that global presence, being able to jump all the way across the map, have the poly, have the cleanse, have the ability to speed up and give the team extra spell armor. So I anticipate Brightwing going to be that focus. And then we could just talk about the overall assassin meta pool. Looking at Vala, Nazebo, Asmodan as very strong champions on a map like our Infernal Shrines could be focused, but it's going to be the Lucio, banned out by Wood League Airlines. They don't want to see the Beatmaster himself riding on those walls. Diablo wasn't banned. Maybe that is going to be there. It was something that we could potentially see Wood League Airlines be like, yeah, we don't like playing Diablo, so we're going to get rid of Lucio as well, because Lucio does have a substantial amount of healing and anti-crowd control with that high 5. Got a lot of fans coming in from both sides. Love it when the fans come out. Charleston 240 coming in with the follow. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a fun time here. Hope you coming in, shouting out your team, giving some love. We got a Chromie band coming out from Tar Pit Tipplers. Very, very strong map for Chromie, being able to put those Sands of Times down and redeeming. So not only did Charleston drop the follow, drop in the take a drink, man. I will definitely make sure I keep myself hydrated this game. And Sonya going to be the last one to be banned here. All right, drink down the hatch. So there's still a lot of good options. If you play Asmodand, you want to put a lot of priority on Asmodand, you could get Asmodand. Johanna was the tank that I was going to say, you know, with the Condemn, being able to control the point and get a lot of those minions as well. The Zebo's still available. Vala is still available. So there's still a lot of potential higher meta picks that are still available. Leoric is going to be picked up by Arin. That's not how you say that name. Aryan? Aryan. I'm guessing Aryan. And Zilla going to pick up Zul'jin now. That's appropriate. Z picking up the Zul'jin. Zul'jin going to be able to stack up. Not, you know, if there is a tank that Zul'jin definitely has a hard time into, it is Johanna. So interesting pick going into the Johanna. Johanna can get that second blinding flare at level 1, be able to get 2 blinding flares and keep Zul'jin from stacking up as easily as he can. But the more scrapping that's to be had over these points, the more Zul'jin has the opportunity to get himself stacked for that late game. Raynor picked up Pyromania, and Michigan G picks up the Lili. Lili actually really strong pick as well. You know, going in, having the blinds against Zul'jin, you know, all these blinds coming in. Johanna has lots of blinds. Lili's got the blinds. Raynor's got the knockback to keep Zul'jin out of range if Zul'jin gets too close. So a lot of good crowd control and blind ability up against the Zul'jin so far. I got his name right the first time. Arin. Okay, there we go. It's Aryan. Jaina going to be banned out here from Wood League Airlines. Good, strong mage, able to put down a lot of AoE damage, burst damage around these objective fights. Although they don't have, well, I guess they could Blessed Shield Ring of Frost. They don't have the best synergy with Ring of Frost, but Water Elemental typically starting to get favored a lot more unless you can pick up the ETC. Vala banned by Tar Pit Tipplers. Both teams already having an auto attacker didn't want to see the double auto attack, even though they have the Lili and the Johanna already set up. Anduin gonna get taken by the side of Wood League Airlines and gonna match it with a Gul'dan. Gul'dan, again, another one of those majors, you know, Jaina, Gul'dan, Chromie, but Chromie was banned. One of the 3 strong mages. Orphea, I guess, could be brought into the conversation if she can land her skill shots. That can do a lot of damage around the objective and also pick up minions as like a byproduct of dealing out their damage. So Gul'dan going to be coming out here. Difficult champion to take down, especially if he goes that W build, that more sustained build, which I almost am certain he's going to do now since there's a Valera picked up by Bud Lightyear. And Deathwing going to be the final pickup by Hellstrom. So Zul'jin will be able to get that % damage at level 16 to be able to deal with the Deathwing. We'll also have the stacks, but looking at that main tank coming out here from the side of Wood League Airlines, trying to figure out, the one thing I'm curious is Uther. Uther hasn't been banned, hasn't been picked. I don't know if Wood League Airlines does this double support, but with the Valera coming in, the double support may be a strong pick. Deathwing, Deathwing Blaze, not a bad pick as well. Going to be able to throw down the bunker, get everybody inside. They just have to be careful around putting that around Deathwing's timers. If Deathwing has everything up, you put the bunker down. The side of Tar Pit Tipplers, just time everything so Deathwing can drop his full combo right on top of the bunker. When that bunker explodes, and everybody comes out burning in Deathwing's Cataclysm. So, looking at these 2 teams, let me get a prediction started for you all. Who will win game number 1? We got Tar Pit Tipplers going up against the Wood League Airlines. You have 2 minutes to start your predictions. Go ahead and get those in now. I'm going to look to see who I think. I mean, I love you got to love the icon synergy coming out of Tar Pit Tipplers here. Like look at that. Best friend icon synergy. It looks absolutely fantastic. But Wood League Airlines, you know, they have a pretty good round comp. They definitely have a lot of damage they can put down in this Entomb with the Gul'dan, the Zul'jin. I don't know I'm guessing this is a Bunker Blaze. If it is a Combustion Blaze, they even have more damage that can be put down in that Entomb, but I'm anticipating it's going to be the Bunker Blaze because of the Valera. Meanwhile, Tar Pit Tipplers, their comp's a little harder to execute, but if they're good on communication, get that Valera roaming around, get those ganks in there, You know, it's that kind of like high ceiling, low floor composition. They can execute it really well and make it very effective, or they can just mess it up. So we'll see what they're able to do here. But let's get these teams introduced. On the blue side, we got the Tar Pit Tipplers. We got Hellstrom on the Deathwing. We got Pyromania on the, I can't see who that is behind Deathwing's wing right there. Move! We got Jadro on the Johanna. We got Bud Lightyear on the Valera. We got Michigan G on the Lily. Pyromania's on the Rainer. Rainer's hiding behind Deathwing. Meanwhile, on the red side, we got Wood League Airlines. We got Yahtzee sitting on the Gul'dan. We got Zilla on the Zul'jin, Galahad on the Anduin, Dork Knight on that Leoric, and up in the top lane, we got Arin sitting on the Blaze. They did do a roll swap. Didn't see that. But going into the mid lane, lots of stacking quests coming out from the Tar Pit Tipplers. A couple coming out from the side of Wood League Airlines as well, but Valera going for those globes. Rainer actually stacking up to give him some pepper. Johanna getting the Laws of Hope going. Meanwhile, Gul'dan is going that W. That is exactly what you want to see Gul'dan building here. And Blaze going to go for the Pyromania, trying to get the Unstoppable at 20 stacks. But Valera going to go down to the bot lane. Blaze already up in the top lane as well. OG Tunnel Sake says he can't vote on the TV. I'm guessing he's watching on his TV at home, not on the computer, so he can't vote for Wood League Airlines, but giving his shout-outs for the team anyway. Can't vote those sweet, sweet points on TV. I don't know. Could you do it with the Xbox app or PlayStation app? I have no idea. Meanwhile, Johanna getting a two-man condemn here in the mid lane. Zul'jin looking to get the stacks at one. Bud Light, you're taking a lot of damage on the Valera. Has to get himself out. And will back out. So with the Airlines, sorry, not Express, Airlines getting a nice advantage there in the push. Blaze versus Deathwing, I mean, this is going to be really boring. It's going to be a firefight up in the top lane, but neither one really has any kill pressure over the other. Now, Valera gets up in the top lane. She can get the gank onto Blaze, and Deathwing with Valera will be able to kill Blaze. But that would take away from Valera being in the bot, man. We see Wood League Airlines already picking up one of their camps. No camp being picked up in the bot lane yet. Tar Pit Tipplers picking up their own as well. Going to be able to pick out their camp. 1 for 1 on the camp so far, but that gives Wood League Airlines the opportunity to go bot lane and start picking up their camp here in this bot lane. And they get it. Lyric just going to be able to get himself out there with the Wraith Walk. Deathwing is in the air, so can get down to the team on a moment's notice. But going to go ahead and land up in the top lane, go against Blaze yet again. Hopefully we don't hear any obnoxious screams coming from my 4-year-old. He is still awake. Doesn't usually go to bed until 8 o'clock. That's why I usually try to get the later cast, but we'll do my best. If not, he just loves Heroes Action, loves coming up, watching what's going on. He can't get enough, I can't get enough. It's a family thing. But Blaze actually going to go ahead and get the start onto the Bruiser camp for Wood League Airlines. Tar Pit Tipplers a little behind on their timer, but not as important, being that this first objective is going to be in the top lane. So both of these camps not going to get the pushing power that they would get if you got a well-timed camp pickup. They'll just fight over it in the mid lane here. And continue to see him. We've got this Arcane Punisher going to be in the top lane. So one of the stronger early game Punishers. Frozen Punisher is the one you want, but better than an Arcane, better than a Mortar Punisher. That's especially with the lack of crowd control. Only having the Jet Propulsion as the main source of crowd control so far coming out of Wood League Airlines. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's just the Johanna Condemn, maybe the stun by Valera if she can get it. But can Johanna going to get 3-man Condemn knocked out by the Deathwing, gets a 3-man stun to follow, and a big blind by Lily. So a good start to the scrap, but they got to wait for those cooldowns. Deathwing taking a fair bit of damage, has lost 2 armor stacks already. Everybody on Wood League Airlines just trying to heal up, clear out the minion wave. 14-8 so far on the minions. And Blaze and Leoric looking like they want to go back in. Johanna trying to be that front line, pops the Iron Skin there. Deathwing going to put out the fire. Very, very low. Going to have to get himself out and get in the air to heal himself up. I don't know if he has tap available. Johanna is not ready to run. Gets the 3-man Condemn and follows up with the blind. Lots of blinds coming out here, but Tar Pit Tipplers have to back off. So far, it's 23 apiece for each team. Very close on the stack so far, but Wood League Airlines have taken over control. Valera trying to get in, gets the Anduin, gets the silence. Deathwing is falling down. It is by the Zul'jin. They're coming back in, 36-25 so far, but Valera is getting picked on by the Zul'jin and the Gul'dan in the backline, gets the stealth off and goes away. And now Tar Pit Tipplers are in control over this objective. Everybody tapping for Woodley Airlines, looking for the re-engage. It's 35 to 36, all so close. Blaze getting in, Cataclysm thrown down the Deathwing in the backline. They are picking this fight with Valeera, and both Zul'jin and Gul'dan have to get away, and it is going to be Tar Pit Tipplers that get the Arcane Punisher, and they're looking for the jump here onto the Anduin Gul'dan. Can they get it is the question. No, it goes onto the Blaze instead. Blaze going to be able to jet propulsion himself away. The Punisher looked confused there for a minute. He's like, where did he go? He went around the wall, and now we'll see Blaze, and it looks like Valeera going to go off into the opposite lanes. Leoric going to be the one to pop the Punisher over and start the burn. So good first scrap coming out of these two teams. Very back and forth. Both teams showing some excellent patience. Neither team having anybody fall. Johanna looking like she wants to get in there and see if she can get a kill. Looking for the John Cena jump. Will he get one more? He does onto the Leoric. Leoric getting very low, is the first to fall, first blood, but Johanna taking some tower shots, not going to be able to get herself away. Lily, not the best burst healer, and so it's a 1-for-1 trade so far, but the fort is won by Tar Pit Tipplers. Johanna able to sacrifice herself to make sure that the fort falls, and that will be first fort going over to Tar Pit Tipplers. So nice opening of the macro lane in the top lane, kind of where they want it with Deathwing. Maybe they're going to put Valeera in this offlane now. I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see how teams decide to rotate this thing through. I anticipate they're still going to roam with Valeera, but maybe they will put her as some of that lane clear presence and then roaming once she gets the wave pushed. But we've got all 5 members in the bot lane for Tar Pit Tipplers. Woodley Airlines, they're picking up their camp and going to push it in the bot lane as well. Leoric going to go back to the top lane, and now we're just waiting for the 10s to come online. It's 1 kill apiece so far for these two teams. Everybody on Tar Pit Tipplers going into the mid lane, going to try and siege this out with their own minion camps. They've already got the pressure in the top lane. Valeera is going to go match it. The pressure from Leoric building. 10s are now online for the side Tar Pit Tipplers. Got to watch the rotation in here coming in from Woodleys. They're not quite on their 10s yet. Deathwing threw out the Bellowing Roar, but it did not connect with anybody, and everybody backs themselves. 10s now online for the side of Woodley Airlines as well. We saw the Bellowing Roar in the Hyperion. 3 more ults still need to be picked up. It is the Blessed Shield coming in from the Johanna. Meanwhile, on the side of Woodley Airlines, it's the Light Bomb picked up by the Anduin and Tomb by the Leoric. It is going to be the Tazdinga, but oh, big 4-man condemned by the Johanna there, looking to get the fight going in their team's favor. It's Valeera trying to pick this fight with a Gul'dan. Does get him. Blaze getting fairly low, and the Cataclysm is starting to cause everyone to burn, so it's a 2-for-1 so far. Lily did fall in the backline to the Leoric, and that looks like all it's going to be so far, but Tar Pit Tipplers coming ahead in that team fight, 2-1 so far. Lily decided to go for those jugs, getting the jug of 1,000 cups, and Cloak of Shadows was picked up by Valeera. Meanwhile, the rest of the ultimates, Blaze did go for that combustion at level 10, so didn't go for the bunker, and it is the Horrify by Gul'dan. Gul'dan, you could see the amount of pressure that Valeera was able to put onto Gul'dan in that fight, able to sneak up, get position behind him, and almost instant deleted him. Gul'dan had to get the W out. I did not see if it was on cooldown, but he's still trying to finish off that chaotic energy at level 1. Once he's able to finish that off, he will be able to withstand a little bit more of this Valeera burst coming in. And hopefully, you know, if Gul'dan can survive that Valeera, you know, flank kind of play, Zul'jin's got the, you know, easy just push R and I survive it kind of deal, as long as he's not silenced enough through it. So we'll see how they position for this second objective fight. Zul'jin sitting currently on 9 stacks, needing to get 21 more to get the second rotation to match with the Arcanite Axes picked up at level 7, wanting to get a lot of value out of that W. But Entomb goes down, so does the Light Bomb. Lot being thrown down on the Johanna. The Root goes down as well, but here we go. Valeera in the backline on the Gul'dan. The Unstoppable is popped right when Horrify went out, so it's excellent timing there. The Yeet from Anduin onto the Leoric. Leoric trying to drain off of the Deathwing there, get himself back. Leoric will be able to get himself away. So it was a good engage, but they picked it on the Johanna, who was able to pop the Iron Skin and just keep herself very, very healthy here. Not the target that they're necessarily looking for coming out of Woodley Airlines. Looked like for a second they may have had the Valeera with the Horrify, but she timed that Unstoppable just right and got herself away. And this is going to be the Mortar Punisher picked up by Tar Pit Tippler, second Punisher of the game. Nobody really looking to defend it currently. Zul'jin went top lane with the Leoric. Gul'dan in the bot lane. Blaze looking like he's picking up a camp. Not sure what that one's about. But everybody now rotating to the mid lane. Nobody from Tar Pit Tipplers is pushing with this Punisher though. It is the Mortar Punisher. Often regarded as the weakest of the 3 Punishers. However, if you have enough crowd control to lock somebody down under these mortars, it does a surprising amount of burst damage. So if you look at Gul'dan just took half of his health with 1 full combo. So if he can get that stun, actually we got a big blessed shield coming in from the Johanna. Catches the Leoric, but he is able to get away. So they do get the fort as well. But yeah, I mean, if that Mortar Punisher, if you got like something like a variant or anything with like hard lockdown, you will be able to get a lot of value out of the Mortar Punisher. Still got the fort, that is the ultimate prize, and are able to go back and pick up their camps, which is pretty important. Keep this macro game going if you're on the side of the blue team. They want to establish and get these lanes, top lane pushed out pretty far. They have the 5-man in the bot lane. Blazes at their retreat pings and assist pings going out. Johanna does not have the Blessed Shield available quite yet. Waiting to hold on for 15 more seconds. Valeera trying to get herself in position. May go through this bot lane, and that's where we see her go. Looking for the Gul'dan. Finds him, gets a silence, and is trying to put the damage down. Gul'dan needs to get out of the silence, put the drain, and he does. And now the Hyperion actually being used for siege. Blessed Shield is available. Johanna getting in. The Horrify gets 2-man fear. Enduin somehow missed that. I thought it went through the Valeera, but Entomb does miss. Everybody backs themselves up. The Yeet going down onto the Gul'dan. 1-man fear onto the Leoric, but they were able to get the prize, which was the fort. Just kind of used the Hyperion, and Johanna Deathwing ran past to push everybody off the fort, and eventually were able to use the Rainer to siege it up and finish it off. So 3 forts picked up by the Tar Pit Tipplers. Wood League Airlines looking to get themselves back into this game. Need to get on. They're currently on even talent tiers, but 16 is right around the corner for Tar Pit Tipplers. So Wood League Airlines got to find some way to get some of that experience. Get Zul'jin stacking. Gul'dan did finish his level 1 quest, so he is going to be able to survive a little bit more against that Valeera as long as he can get out of that silence. And really just keeping the periscope up for Valeera, making sure you have eyes on her at all times, or at least know the direction she's coming from, so you can put down that AoE damage, knock her out of stealth so she can't get that silence on you. Gonna be Anduin mainly. Corruption's a little difficult to land, can be done. You can get it with the Blaze as well, but Blaze has been in this off lane as of recent, so it's gonna have to be the Anduin that knocks her out of stealth. Lyric going into the mid lane. Deathwing here as well, dropping down. And now it's just pretty much a soak game. 16's online for Tar Pit Tipplers. They're looking to pick the fights. Wood League Airlines, they're just content sitting back, letting these lanes passively push into their base and soak up the remaining experience to get on that even talent here. So this is the play right now. If I was blue side, this is where you want to be. Doing the aggressive invade while you have the advantage, but they're going to go pick up their own. Not wanting to throw, going for the safer play. There is a slight possibility that, you know, if you get the positioning wrong, it could end up badly for your team. But it's going to be this Frozen Punisher, and this is the Punisher that could really make or break for either of these two teams. If Wood League Airlines get a good fight and get the Punisher, they can get a lot of pushing pressure with this Frozen Punisher. But they're all in position looking to fight. Valeera is out of stealth, so this is where the side of Wood League Airlines are looking to fight. They know Valeera is out of stealth. Gul'dan can play a lot more aggressively, knowing that Valeera is out of stealth. Johanna looking to be the fight. They're trying to get the Johanna again, get the root, but she pops the Iron Skin, just walks forward. Cataclysm dropped by Deathwing, as was the Blessed Shield. Gul'dan trying to get the drain onto the Deathwing. Combustion being thrown out by Blaze. Catches on to Lili. The Jugs are out, but big stun coming in for Blaze, and this is huge for Wood League Airlines. The Light Bomb going down doesn't connect, but Valeera now in the backline causing so much chaos. Getting on top of that Zul'jin, getting him before the Taz Dingo could be popped. Gul'dan getting that drain, and look how Gul'dan is able to survive, gets the kill on the Valeera, so now Valeera is out of this fight as well. Blaze going up against Rainer 1v1, it's a 3v Deathwing in the bot. Blaze trying to get himself away, does go down to the penetrating shot from Rainer here, so it's a 3-on-3 so far. Deathwing sitting fairly low. Gul'dan trying to drain the Deathwing away. Zul'jin will be up in 19. A big 2-man root coming in from the Anduin, and we got another slow from the Leoric. This is a huge, huge crowd control chain coming out of Wood League Airlines. They get the 3rd kill and may have control over this objective, and more importantly, they've got this pushing pressure in the top lane. So this is the fight that may have brought them back into this game. We're getting close to even in the experience yet again. Zul'jin is going to be able to come down. The Frozen Punisher will be able to siege up this bot lane, and Wood League Express are going to start sieging with their first Punisher. Zul'jin up to 20 stacks now. Gul'dan, you know, you saw once he got that quest completed, he's had a lot more sustainability in these fights and has been pumping out a lot more damage as well with that drain. It's really, really tough to take him down, but the play was that jet propulsion coming in from Blaze, landing on the two-man stun, interrupting the jugs from Lili, and the follow-up damage that ensued was massive. Unfortunately, Zul'jin did fall. Imagine if Zul'jin didn't fall there with the, Taz Dingo. He was silenced, so it's a little bit difficult to pop skills when you can't pop skills. Ooh, a big stun and the follow-in tomb. That's huge onto the Rainer. John Cena getting the assist, but Deathwing coming in for the flank, throws down the Cataclysm in front and has just said, I dare you to pass this line. But everybody looks like they're comfortable walking by it. Cena looking for the next jump, gets a three-man stun, but nobody in position to really follow it up. The Horrify was available, wasn't able to be pulled, and everybody just backing them up. But the Punisher doing the siege damage turns off the keep with the frozen passive. Rainer's still not up for 30 seconds. They can continue to siege this if they want. They've got ultimates again. They've got the corruption, and then they go to catch the Valera, and that is Valera going to go down. The Horrify was used there. Johanna falling, does not have Iron Skin available. Lili not the best healer, so the siege can continue. Gul'dan, one of those excellent siege champions, can just clear the lanes and continue to put the corruption down. Deathwing's got to be very careful here. Ooh, Blaze going all the way in to that Entomb. Didn't catch the Deathwing. It was close, but the siege is continuing here for Woodley. I like to see this aggression. I like that they're continuing the siege, not backing themselves off, want to get the keep. Hyperion coming out. Will they be able to finish it? Blessed Shield being committed here. The stun down onto Blaze. Johanna trying to get in, see if she can get to this backline. Blaze throwing down, a big jet propulsion into a yeet, and that's going to get Blaze out safely. Gets this mounted up, but gets dismounted. And I think they are away. So that's a big play by Wood League Airlines here, getting the fort and the keep. And like I said, that next objective, if Wood League Airlines could pick it up, since it is the Frozen, they're not only going to get the fort, they could have potentially gotten the keep with it as well. So a huge turnaround. And now they have pressure in this bot lane. Tar Pit Tipplers still have the 20 advantage. They definitely have the potential to make a play around when this 20 comes online. Looking to get a big play with those Storm League towns. Still continuing to paint the map blue, which is within their right. They got a little shooken up there, but they are regrouped. They are a very scary late game comp, but Zul'jin and Gul'dan will continue to get scarier the later this game goes, and Zul'jin needing one more stack to get that magical number 30 and get the double W's coming out. But 20s are online for both teams. Rainer going with that Sergeant Pepper. Definitely going for the benefit of all level 7s. Arrival of the God, or of a God. Valera actually getting the elusiveness there. Lili upgrading the jugs. Johanna getting the shield. She went blinded by the light, giving her team, not super often you see Johanna go that, but this team is screaming dive, dive, dive. She's probably just looking to give it to Valera, trying to find Valera and give it to her before Valera does her combo. Meanwhile, Anduin going for the big heals. Silence and Tomb, that's actually going to be really big from the Leoric. The Silence and Tomb is very, very nasty. If he can get it onto the Lili, that will be absolutely massive. Upgraded Taz Dingo from the Zul'jin, upgraded Horrify from Gul'dan, and Blaze getting the slow on auto attacks. The chase is on. We're looking for the Atum. He's got the Lili. He's looking for it. Oh, but he gets stunned out. Unfortunate there. Not wanting to force the fight. Didn't know if the rest of the team would be able to follow up on the Entomb quite yet. Waiting to save it for this. And this is going to be, I mean, it feels like with these Punishers, the story is the next Punisher is the big Punisher. And these Punishers, the importance of these Punishers has continued to grow. It is the Mortar Punisher here in the mid lane. Both teams in position. Valera sitting up in the top lane, sitting in that stealth. Johanna and Leoric going at it, but Johanna getting fairly low. The drain coming in. Valera is in now, having to back himself out. Was caught out of stealth there. A big three-man stun coming in from Deathwing. Johanna throwing the Blessed Shield out, catches two. And then the Entomb goes down. She catches Johanna, but that is all. Valera trying to get into the backline. The Light Bomb does keep Valera out of stealth, and that is huge. They get Valera there, so big pickup on the Valera. Deathwing getting very low as well. And Gul'dan and Zul'jin both very healthy. They're going to just shred through this entire enemy line. A stun coming out onto the Johanna from the Anduin there. Leoric continuing to pursue, and huge fight from Wood League Airlines. 3 for 0 so far. And that was pretty much it. You find the Valera, you catch the Valera. She was trying to get in. I think it was Anduin that knocked her out, and Leoric had the Light Bomb on him, so he could just reposition himself, take 2 steps to the right, stun the Valera, and that's all it needed for Gul'dan and Zul'jin to just blow that Valera up. And that is a 3 for 0 with a Punisher for Wood League Airlines, coming back here in the mid to late game. Up 10-5 in kills so far. Tipplers gonna have to get themselves back together. They do have Raynor with the Hyperion, so they do have a lot of zoning potential over this keep. So they will be able to defend this keep fairly well. Raynor actually committing to the bot lane right now, may decide to save it for the core defense instead. Nobody's bumping this Punisher over. They don't have any of their two strongest tanks, so I like the call. They can use Lily to pull it back. Did Lily go cleanse at 7? Oh, she didn't go cleanse at 7. That's unfortunate. The Silence Entomb does miss there, but the water looking oh so pretty. The jump onto Deathwing is there. Now that time is for the Hyperion. Here it comes. Coming out to zone everybody off, and now they need the Cataclysm on top of it in 3 seconds to zone this Punisher off, because this core is starting to fall. Johanna trying to zone the Zul'jin out. He gets pulled over. It's at 59 and continuing to fall. This Punisher doing so much value. They've got to find a way to keep Zul'jin away. Taz Dingo is popped. 15-12, 5-3-2-1, and Wood League Airlines gonna take game number 1. How about that? Tipplers, for all intents and purposes, were very, very much ahead, 75-80% of this game, doing very, very well in the early game, even transitioning it into the mid game. But that big fight, I mean, Blaze getting that 2-man jet propulsion for the Frozen Punisher, securing the Frozen Punisher. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily secure it. It was a big start to that fight, but then it was like a 4v or a 3v3 or 3v2, and then it was just all this back and forth. But Wood League Airlines were able to get that bottom objective, take it all the way for the keep, made the aggressive call to stay with it, even though they lost the Punisher, to get the keep, and then ultimately go ahead and really come out swinging in that next Punisher. So the first 2 Punishers going over to Tipplers, the next 2 for Wood League Airlines, and Wood League Airlines able to just push with those late game Punishers. It's a lot easier to push with the later game Punishers than it is with the early game ones, and able to sneak away and grab game number 1. Looking at some of these stats coming out from these 2 teams, I mean, Deathwing was able to put down quite a bit of damage, was able to get, and that was a lot of it came out in the early games. Deathwing was able to put out so much damage with that Cataclysm, putting out the Fire Breath, getting a lot of people grouped together. Johanna was doing an excellent job grouping them up with the Condemn, locking them down with the Blessed Shield. And then as that game just started to progress, it really became the Valeera show. Could Valeera get in and delete the Gul'dan? Gul'dan became much, much harder to kill the more talents he put into that W, ultimately becoming just this unpassable beast. Healing, actually fairly close. So that I give a massive nod to Lily. I mean, Lily, she does get a lot of a healing boost from just pressing the R button. Not usually seen as one of the top healer, but still, to keep up with an Anduin. Anduin is a very difficult champion to keep up with in healing, and Lily did an excellent job doing that. So props to the Lily for being able to match there. But the experience game, Leoric was able to pull away from the Deathwing, although part of that was Valeera was going up against Leoric in that like middle, like 10, 11, 12 range. Valeera was going up against Leoric at times. But let me choose this prediction outcome. 97% of you voted for Wood League Airlines to win that game. The 3% of you voting for Tipplers almost came away with a massive bankroll there, but it will be the 97% choosing Wood League Airlines. You guys get your points. Throw it over to the talent screen real quick. Looking at some of these builds, Raynor going heavy into the give him some pepper build. Veteran Marksman went up to the Sergeant Pepper at 20, so he's able to put down a lot of that AoE damage. Really looking when he's doing that to hit these 2 in the back line with that build, so he has to position himself pretty aggressively in some of those fights. Deathwing went Molten Blood at the beginning. Interesting. It's good in the off lane, especially against the Blaze. It's definitely good against the Blaze. Harder to do in those mid-game, late-game team fights. Valeera, pretty standard. Lily going the Water Dragon for going more damagey for the Johanna, putting it onto the Johanna, putting it onto the Valeera. Johanna, pretty standard stuff coming out there. Sins exposed, hold your ground. Yeah, pretty standard. This is the one where I was curious. If they win, I gotta come back and ask why we decided to go Blinded by the Light at 20. I don't see that one picked too often, so it's kind of cool to see that one in action. Maybe to, if she's not caught in the Silence Entomb, to just make everybody survive the buried alive. I could see that as a solid argument. Cypher coming in, dropping the follow. Thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Sorry I didn't call it out in the games. Usually during the games I don't make any of those announcements, but I will make sure I get them at the end of the game. Thank you so much for the follow. And Horrorling's coming in with the take a drink, man, so I will make sure I get that redemption real quick. Got to stay hydrated between these matches. But let me get you guys over to the map overview so you can see what's going on. We're getting into lobby number 2. These teams have created it. It is going to be Cursed Hollow. And it is going to be the side of Wood League Airlines that picked this one. So Tar Pit Tipplers, they were the ones that got to choose between first hero pick and map pick. They went with first hero pick again. So Wood League Airlines are the ones that are going to send us to Cursed Hollow. Mighty Mouse, yeah, they always win the first round. I just don't know how they do it. I'm guessing this is in response to Wood League Airlines just always somehow, some way come out and find a way to win the first round, even if they're up against it. But Wood League Airlines coming in. Although, here's the fun thing. Cursed Hollow, much, much bigger map. Now we get to see a lot of focus being put onto the global. Hi, Admiral. Dalton's mom has buck teeth. I guess I have to shout that since it is bolded. Dalton's mom has buck teeth. All right. I don't know what that means. I'm sure Dalton's mom is a nice lady. But, you know, looking at the bands coming in now, you know, being able to focus on Falstad, still looking at Brightwing. It wasn't picked up or banned in game number 1. I don't anticipate that to last here in game number 2. It's got to be picked up or banned here in game number 2, I would imagine. You know, champions like May could be banned again. Sonya could be banned again. Falstad rises in popularity. Vikings, Abathur, Samuro all rise in popularity as well. Those heavy split pushing champions. But it's going to be the Zul'jin banned out by the Tar Pit Tipplers. Don't want to see the troll coming out here again. Chelsea the Creator coming in. Icex confirmed best caster. I don't know what I did, but I'm glad I did it. I think I don't know. I'm sure it made some people really happy, and other people go, "What the heck, this guy?" Sorry, I mean no offense. Lucio gonna be banned out again by Wood League Airlines. Don't want to see Lucio running, skating all over Cursed Hollow. Where actually this is a much better map for Lucio. The bigger the map, the better the value for Lucio. Being able to speed your team up, get them across the map very quickly. That movement speed is terrifying. There we go. We do see the Brightwing being banned by Tar Pit Tipplers. Not going to be able to see the Fairy Dragon here in game number 2. And now we're just waiting to see what Wood League Airlines elect to pick up here as their last ban. Do they go the Sonya ban again? I think they believe that. I think they believe that. I think they banned that in game number 1 for their second ban. Are they going to ban the Sonya again? And it is going to be that Sonya banned out here in game number 2. So Tar Pit Tipplers, they have first pick again. Last game, they went with it wasn't the Johanna, was it? Yes, it was. It was the Johanna. They picked the Johanna first last game. Not as much value on Johanna in this map. Still good, but champions like Diablo, who I believe Diablo was banned last game. Diablo, very good on this map. May was banned last game. Very good on this map, but it's going to be Dahaka. Dahaka, again, very good on this map. I like the pick. I like going the global pressure. You've already gotten rid of the Brightwing, so that forces the opposing team to either pick up the Falstad or find somebody who split pushes very well into the Dahaka, because Dahaka is automatically going to get that much more value. So the Falstad is picked up by Wood League Airlines, and they run the Leoric again on RN. Very effective in game 1 on that Leoric. Can do it again here on a map like Cursed Hollow, where there's a lot of small corridors, a lot of good places to throw down that Entomb. Looking at what we need for Tar Pit Tipplers here, I anticipate we're going to get probably the healer picked out here, and the Jaina going to be picked up as well. Was banned out in game number 1, I believe, Vala as well. So this is a lot of burst damage coming in. And they've got the Dahaka for the gank ability. So now really all they need for Tarplet Tipplers, I really like this because they have camp clear with Jaina and Vala, so they can pick whatever support they want to go with that. But they need somebody for heavy engage. So like they could run like the Stukov variant, they could run the May Anduin, they could run something, but they need a lot of lockdown for this Jaina and Vala, and they've got a very scary engage comp building out here. But May is going to get banned out by Wood League Airlines. Smart recognition, don't want this heavy engage. The Stukov variant is still a very, very real possibility. But that's what I want to see out of Tar Pit Tipplers. But Wood League Airlines right here with the Falstad and Leoric, they can kind of just build this sit back, you know, and play the patient game kind of deal. I anticipate this is going to be a Q build Falstad, with it being Jaina and Vala, two very safe champions in the backline. So maybe just look to poke quite a bit instead of trying to get in and get value off of the W. But we'll see. But they're going to take the Johanna Anduin. So the Light Bomb Falling Sword combo, maybe a possibility coming out of Wood League Airlines. But still, with Johanna, I mean, it's screaming Stukov variant. I want to see it. I really want to see the Stukov variant here. Variant counter to Johanna. You're looking for that all-in engage with the Vala and the Dahaka. I mean, I'm hoping. My fingers and toes are crossed that we see this. Raka coming in with the party of 6. Welcome, everybody. Hope your stream went well, Raka. You are joining game number 2 of this matchup between Wood League Airlines and Tar Pit Tipplers, but it's going to be Garrosh Lili. Still, Garrosh can get in, get the throw, but going to be easily dismounted by the Johanna, so have to take that into consideration. Lili, Michigan running the Lili again, going for the blinds. Not going to get as much value onto Azul, you know, what we were able to get with the Zul'jin. For those joining, Wood League Airlines came back in game number 1. We're down for probably like 75% of the game, but the last 25 is where it matters, and we're able to get in. But it's going to be the Hanzo. I do like that. Yes, this is exactly the build that Wood League Airlines wants to run. It's a sit back, let our front line be our front line, poke with Falstad, poke with Hanzo. You can keep Garrosh dismounted. It'll be really interesting. I like both these teams have very, very solid comps. It's really going to be who can be the one to dictate the engages. But here we go. Let me get this up. Who will go in game number 2? Is it going to be Tar Pit Tipplers, or is it going to be Wood League Airlines? You have 2 minutes. Enjoy. So the Garrosh have to be very, very stealthy. Gonna have to stay mounted because they have a lot of dismount coming out from the side of Wood League Airlines. And Wood League Airlines, again, they just have to keep vision under their control. Hanzo has excellent vision with the Sonic Arrow. Falstad can upgrade that Q build. I'm really expecting this to be a full-on Q build coming out here. But he can upgrade it all the way to get very long and safe range poke to keep away from the Jaina and the Vala. And the front line of Dahaka Garrosh as well. And then just kind of slow push these team fights. But let's get these teams introduced. On the blue side, we got Tar Pit Tipplers. We got Pyromania on the Vala, Hellstorm on the Dahaka, Jadro on the Garrosh, Michigan on the Lili, and we've got Bud Lightyear on the Jaina. Meanwhile, on the red side, looking to send this to a 2-0 domination, we got Wood League Airlines. We got Dark Knight on the Johanna, Zilla on the Falstad, Yahtzee on that Hanzo, I believe, Galahad on the Anduin, and we've got Aaron on that Leoric. This caster is cracked. That is definitely true. But looking at this tonight, Hanzo gonna go for the auto attack Hanzo build. He's gonna rely heavily onto it. Falstad gonna go into the Qs as expected. I'm so excited to see that one. Garrosh tossing that minion, didn't want to see him on the maps, looked at him funny. Meanwhile, Garrosh going for the Groundbreaker at level 1. Vala going for the W build. Going to be able to get those Hatred stacks up. Get that Fire at Will going. Looking for 20, want to get to 60 plus. Falstad getting the value in the bot lane. Nobody matching it yet. Jaina on her way down. Falstad going to get a little bit of siege pressure here going in the bot lane. But I mean, I'd like to, you know, Falstad's going to have to be on point with those Qs onto the Jaina. He's going to have to get up to a lot of these team fights because he wants to get the value out of those Qs stacking up. Ideally, you'd want to be in the 3-man. Even though you have the Falstad, you could still use the Falstad to instead of keeping him in the off lane, you could put him down in the off lane like right when the objective comes up, but keep him in the 3-man to keep the Qs stacking, especially since Hanzo went the auto attack build, which he can get against Jaina. So I'd like to see Hanzo and Falstad switch this up. Falstad stay with the 3-man, try and get as many Q stacks as he can, but this will still work. We're just not going to see as much Q stacking coming out of Falstad. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Leoric is probably going to win this matchup. As long as he doesn't get pulled under the tower, he will be able to clear fast. He will be able to drain the Dahaka. In the bot lane, Falstad going up against the Jaina. Good burst coming out there, but has to get back due to being low himself. We got Hanzo and Anduin going ahead and picking up the first siege camp. That is the one they want to get, being that the objective going to be in that bot lane. Meanwhile, Tar Pit Tipplers getting their Bruiser camp. Again, that is the one they want to get. Trying to get this on a timer up here with the siege camp. With League Alliance, trying to get this on a timer. We got these two tanks just literally slapping each other in the mid lane. Up at the top lane, Leoric did go for the kneel at level 4, so he is going to be able to really put a lot of pressure in this top lane. However, he is going to have to rotate away, whereas Dahaka can just teleport. So maybe they put Falstad all the way up at the top lane. Maybe that's where Falstad's on his merry adventure to. Maybe he's just going to go clear out this mid lane wave. Has to be careful, the Garrosh had the E, so he could just fly himself to safety, but Vala going to finish off this camp up in the top lane. Little late on the timer. She definitely wants to be down here when it spawns, but still not terrible. Is able to get the camp ultimately, which is the prize. And we got a big commitment coming in, it looks like, from the Tar Pit Tipplers. Dahaka went all the way back to base, now burrowing in. So Dahaka's already committed, even though this objective is already going to be finished channel. So Woodley Airlines didn't even contest it, which means they got a lot of value out of making Dahaka burrow all the way down here. Dahaka pulling the burrow trigger a little too early. So there's going to be value in the top lane coming out of this Falstad and Leoric. So good call by Woodley Airlines there, not really needing to force the first objective. They're going to be rewarded with just a little bit of an experience lead. Get their 7s first. Stacking game continuing. Vala up to 10 stacks already. Dahaka at 3. Meanwhile, Hanzo sitting at 3 currently. Falstad at 2 on the Q stacks. Johanna sitting at 5 on the Laws of Hope. 7's online for both teams now.
The choice is simple.
The second one going to be up in the top lane. Jaina still finishing out the farm in the bot lane. Ooh, a big 2-man root coming in from the Anduin. Johanna is here, gets the condemn onto one member. He actually gets the toss back onto the Johanna as well. The Iron Skin is popped. So that is going to be, did she take the reduced cooldown? She did. 5 seconds. Not the end of the world. I was going to say 10 seconds. Go ahead and start the channel off. Lily is here. It looks like the fight is being turned. Falstad is in the bot lane. Dahaka actually gets the kill onto Leoric at the top lane. That's a big pick for Tar Pit Tipplers. And they get the interrupt from the Vala as well. So Falstad flying his way in. Garrosh going up against the Johanna. Falstad is here. Dahaka does miss the tongue. But Vala putting out quite a bit of damage onto this Johanna. Garrosh trying to get himself in. The root goes down onto Vala. But they've zoned everybody off. There's no way that they're going to be able to get back to this Jaina. Leoric has respawned, come back from the dead. Kind of walking himself around. Thought better of it. And ultimately just gets himself away. So it's one apiece for both teams. So good fight by Tar Pit Tipplers. Dahaka was already in a good position, and Falstad did fly up, so Dahaka going to get a little bit of value here as well. So Tar Pit Tipplers making a play of their own. Nice little macro play, and immediately sending the whole team to the boss, making a boss call at level 8. You love to see it. Nobody on the side of Woodley Airlines is down in this area so far. Maybe making a boss play of their own. Johanna and Anduin are heading up, but they don't have Hanzo or Falstad, so they're kind of delaying. So this is a big win for Tar Pit Tipplers. I like the immediate call. This is also going to get the boss in time that they will be able to contest this objective. And they can roam up as 5 and maybe go contest this boss. Dahaka going to push in the bot lane. This boss is going to be, it's going to be close. I think they still get the boss. Had they had Dahaka teleport all the way up, they may have been able to get it. But they stopped in the mid lane to get some minions. Ultimately, that is going to secure the boss in the top lane for Woodley Alliance. And now Dahaka is roaming his way up. So here we go. over this third objective. Boss pushing in top, boss pushing in bot. Top boss is going to get more value since the wall is down. The turret is already taking damage, but Lior getting some big health chunks, but a huge scatter shot by Hanzo. Puts everybody pretty low, but everybody on Wood League Alliance, they're having to back this up. Johanna want to go in, but they don't have their 10, so they have to kind of respect it. This is Curse Point actually picked up by the side of Tar Pit Tipplers. I was off. I thought it was one apiece. Somehow that was all three for Tar Pit Tipplers. So big play coming in for Tar Pit Tipplers. Even more important, so that is why they were so committed to defend this. I did forget. They gave up the first one, which I did like. So the second one was just unfortunate. But 10s were online for the side of Tar Pit Tipplers. So Tar Pit Tipplers playing this first pre-10 game, aside from the little hiccup from Dahaka teleporting down, which again is very minor. That's like nitpicking almost. Tar Pit Tipplers playing this early game very well. Very well, like they did in game 1. But we saw what happened in game 1. Wood League Airlines were able to get their level 10s and how coordinated they were in the second half of the game. So let's go over some of those ultimates real quick. Strafe picked up by Vala, Isolation by Dahaka, Water Elemental by Jaina, Warlord Challenge by Garrosh, and it is the Jugs again by the Lili. On the red side, we got the Light Bomb by the Anduin, Tomb by Lior, Blessed Shield by Johanna, Dragon's Arrow from the Hanzo. And there it is. Look at that. Dragon's Arrow. Oh my goodness gracious. Big Light Bomb, big play. False side in there for the Gust. Nobody's getting away, but they actually get the turnaround on the Hanzo. Oh no, Hanzo gets killed, and now Garrosh and Vala are in the back line. Warlord Challenge goes down. It looks like they had it, and you know, they had everybody on the run, and then all of a sudden, everybody on the blue side was suddenly in the middle of the red team. Unfortunate Gust there. I like the play. The play, I can understand why Zilla wanted to do it, but you put the Garrosh and the Vala right in the middle of your team. Vala just pushed strafed. Garrosh did Garrosh things. And that is going to be it. Tar Pit Tipplers getting the win there and continuing to press. Man, for a second there, hey, look, oh, here we go. A huge Entomb coming in from Lior. But Anduin has to use the Yeet. Nobody there really to follow up. And the Camp Steal gonna be successful here by the Tar Pit Tipplers. Is it true that if you lose all your channel points, Icex comes to your house and kidnaps your wife? I don't know. Who started that rumor? I'm too lazy to go anywhere, man. When it's my weekends, I just want to chill. So I'm gonna say no. That is not true, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I don't know. But Tar Pit Tipplers, again, doing an excellent job. We saw the 10 buttons coming out of Wood League Airlines. It looked good. Just a little bit too aggressive once they got everybody pretty low. So we'll see if they can do it again here. And we got this objective coming up in the bot lane. Neither team really needing to fight for it. Both 13s. It's kind of just, you know, it's in the position, are favoring the positioning of Tar Pit Tipplers. So Wood League Airlines might be like, you can have that one. I'm sure it's the wives that started the rumors. You know what? It's probably Skycake that started that rumor. I'm going to blame Skycake. His wife and my wife are like the biggest critics of our team. They watch the games and they're like, hey, stop feeding. It's like, oh. But Tar Pit Tipplers, get the camp, get the Bruiser camp pushing, get the objective, continuing. Horrorlings coming in with a looks good on paper, not so much in execution. Gotta give the, you know, the extra emphasis for the whole to chat. But Tar Pit Tipplers, they've continued to be aggressive here, getting that advantage. They're very confident with their playmaking ability so far. Wood League Airlines looking like they may want to pick this fight. Johanna going in for Dahaka. He uses the burrow. Johanna throws out the Blessed Shield. The Light Bomb is down. The Dragon Arrow put down as well. They're putting a lot of resources into this Dahaka. Johanna gets taunted right under towers. The Eat of Faith comes down. Vala very far forward. Has to be careful. There it is. The Entomb comes down. But will they be able to get her? Hanzo trying to do the damage, but Lioric, unfortunately, a lot of the ultimates had already been used. Lioric did get the Entomb, but the rest of the team just not quite on the same wavelength. So Lioric will fall. He'll come back. He's the ghost, you know. He just walks around doing his own thing. but Dahaka teleporting up to the top lane, going to be able to channel this off. It is going to be the tissue regeneration at level 1 for those that question in chat. Sorry about that. Didn't see that. Missed through it. But getting back in here, Jaina getting that root at 16. So this is going to be big lockdowns. The only difference, the only thing, when you get the root, and this is just personal Jaina preference, when you get the root, I really like when you synergize it with Icy Flows at 7, because if you can get a 2 or 3 man root, you can keep them perma-rooted forever. Forever. If you get your positioning really well. It's very high, like I said, it's very high ceiling kind of play from Jaina, but if you get the Icy Flows at 7 mixed with the Numbing Blast at 16, oh my gosh, like Chef's Kiss, a good Jaina player can just wreak havoc on a team once she gets to level 16 with those 2 talents. This is the safer build, you know, going with the Ice Fury wand. You get more, you can be a lot safer with your Jaina play. You don't have to get in as aggressively. And you can still pump out a fair amount of damage. You just don't have as much like full-on team lockdown. You only get the one lockdown. But she did get the Icy Veins at 13, so that will get her a second one pretty quick. Oh, he gets the root there from the Anduin. Anduin throws that one out. Oh, Falstad gets thrown back in the team though. The Yeet coming in. Anduin getting his MVP vote, trying to get that MVP status Galahad. Falstad's going to have to buy him a beer later, but this is another curse picked up by the side of Tar Pit Tipplers. Dahaka was able to get that off as the siege stayed true on this top lane. So this is a second siege, and this is a big siege coming out for Tar Pit Tipplers here. Hi, Admiral. I wish Icex was my dad. You know what? I wish my kid would say that. No, he does. But a big throw from the Garrosh. Gets the taunt down onto the Leoric. The Anduin gets the yeet again. Anduin just saving everyone left and right. Arn getting away, but this top keep getting sieged out by the minions. Gonna have to be answered. Meanwhile, Garrosh just continuing to get in position. The tongue does miss from Dahaka. So this is a 3-keep siege. Thruhana getting thrown back in by the Garrosh. He's getting in, but big light bomb coming down. 4-man stun with the Entomb. The damage is going down. Falstad needs to put the rest down, and it's continuing to be thrown down. 2 members low on the side of Woodley Airlines. Johanna gonna fall here. Leoric not too far behind. There's the Gustance engage from the Falstad. Gonna save everybody else, but 2 keeps have fallen. The 3rd keep may fall as well. And Tar Pit Tipplers looking like they may want to potentially end this game here. They're sieging the core. The core is falling rather quickly. Their siege minions all over. Dragon Arrow being popped onto the Garrosh. Garrosh trying to get in from position. Throws a Falstad. Falstad getting very low. The Jugs keeping everyone alive. Falstad will fall down. This core is going to fall, and this is GG's game 2 to Tar Pit Tipplers, sending us all the way to a game number 3. And how about that? We're going all the way to a full series. What a turnaround game in response by Tar Pit Tipplers there. I like the comp I saw being drafted with the first 3 picks. The Garrosh and Lili definitely made me see the light behind those picks. Make sure I get this prediction outcome. 99% went with Wood League Alliance that game. 7.5K points dropped on Wood League Alliance. Only 1% voting for Tar Pit Tipplers. And that person is going to get a pay day. All these points coming into the solo Tar Pit Tippler voter. My goodness. Enjoy that money. 7.5K points. Don't spend it all in one place now. And look at these stats coming out. Vala putting out 50K damage. Vala putting out a ton of damage there. Pyromania doing just an absolute tons and tons of damage. Hanzo getting out the 29K as well. Did finish his quest, I believe. But the Falstad, I don't know what he ended on the Q stacks. He kind of hybrided this. Maybe because he wasn't able to get the stacks. I could see since he wasn't getting the stacks at 1, he kind of changed the build up as he went, kind of deal. going for the flow rider and then the airy gusts. This is actually what you want to see at 13. This is what you want to see at 16 too. This is fine. So really just a little bit of difference at the level 4. You could get the Q at 16 as well. But Hanzo go for the auto attack build. Vala going to the Gloom Hunter build. Very standard right now. Very, very strong build. Chauncey Isaacs is going to break my legs now. No, I won't. But look at the healing. Lily out healing Anduin. So we saw the Anduin Lily matchup again, and Lily actually getting the upper hand in this one. So I mean, maybe if you're Wood League Alliance, this is where you start to put the focus. 2 Lily games, 2 impressive performances from Lily, even though she wasn't able, even though she's not necessarily known for being that huge healer. A lot of value coming out of the Lily there. Garrosh was doing an excellent job getting some of those tosses. Got false stat a few times, which was huge. Even got the blow up onto the Orc a couple times, so big plays. Dahaka definitely had a ton of value just being able to play the map and then getting into the team when the team needed them. So big pickup from Tarpit Tipplers there. I liked the adjustments they made from that game 1, game 2. Didn't throw in the towel, decided that they were going to come back swinging, and swing they did. We throw it on the talents. See what you can get. No level 20 talents. So game ended. That was a pretty quick game on Cursed Hollow. So no team getting up to the level 20 talents there. Definitely love to see where I could get him drunk on water. You could definitely. I mean, what was that? It was a couple nights ago. People did the make ice pee challenge. I don't even want to know how many take a drink mans they redeemed. But they were, I know there's people out there stockpiling it for when my camera gets set up for next week, which I have it in for those who are here now. It is here. I have to get it set up. And then once I get it set up, I know people are banking those things because I always cast with a beer in hand and they're like, we're going to have fun. But hydrate or dehydrate, Ailbog. Drown him out, I guess. Oh no. What is happening in chat? Everybody wants to drown me in water. That's okay. Could definitely use hydration. Getting that shot. But we're just waiting. It's down to Wood League Airlines. They're the ones that get to choose now between first pick and hero pick. They did pick the first 2 maps. I'll send you guys over to the map overview so you can see what's going on. They did pick the first 2 maps. Oh, I have to read this. They had the CC, but not the damage. Coming in from Horrorlings. Got to get that bull chat going. These are the maps that we have potentially. Alteric Pass plays very similar to Cursed Hollow, so if Tarpit Tipplers get map pick, maybe we'll be seeing an Alteric Pass map. Volskaya plays very, very similar. That game always goes to level 20, so if teams are confident in their late game fighting prowess. But then Braxis is like the antithesis to Volskaya, whereas Volskaya always goes to 20. Braxis usually ends around 10. Just a snowball map. And then BOE is kind of just your classic scrappy team fighting map. Teams are just always fighting in the middle. Red Reveler coming in with the take a drink, man. Let me get that redeemed real quick for you. And actually, that topped off my my water glass. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw this over to a commercial real quick while we wait for this final map to get in here. I'm going to go refill my water, so I will be right back. All right, I am back at my water glass, ready to go. Still no signs of where we're going for map number 3. Trying to see what we're doing in this final game. Teams do get 10 minutes theoretically between, or not theoretically, by rule, get 10 minutes between matches. But there we go. I finally got it. Game invite. And we are going to Volskaya Foundry for game number 3. And once I know who picked it, I will let you guys know. So Volskaya Foundry, the map that always goes late. I cannot remember the last time I saw a Volskaya Foundry map end before level 20. It has to have been years of casting and playing. I cannot remember for the life of me the last time I saw a Volskaya game end before level 20. I'm sure it happens, but I just can't remember when it was. All right, but it was the Tar Pit Tipplers that are sending us to Volskaya. So, Wood League Airlines, they wanted first hero pick. Since they got the choice, we're going to see change. Drafts are going to be a little bit different. Mighty Mouse, I do love when there's 3 matches in a game. Makes the last round feel like I'm on the edge of my seat. Dude, I am in that exact same boat. I absolutely love when we go all the whole distance in these best of 3s and best of 5s. Oh, apparently we had a delay because there's a toddler meltdown between games. I know that all too well. But here we go. Volskaya Foundry is where we are going, even though they say Volskaya Industries. 1 apiece. Heading into game number 3, who's going to come away with the 2-1 victory? Both these teams needing the second point to get themselves that higher seed for the playoff run. But now we see the bans change. Are we going to see the Lily ban? Tar Pit Tipplers have run it twice. She's put out a respectable amount of healing. Definitely caught this caster's eye for the healing production. So we'll see if the Lily gets focused, or if we go back to focusing the same old same. Sonya. I'm trying to remember who they banned first besides Sonya. Oh, I rolled a d20, landed on 19. Lucio. How could I forget Lucio? Lucio banned out a 3rd game in a row. 19. Hot dog, I'm ready for D&D tomorrow. Pyromania, gonna get us band started with the Tar Pit Tipplers. And will they make any changes? Are they gonna stick with the changes that they made? Banning out the Zul'jin first in the last game. Zul'jin, another champion that does well in the late game, and it's gonna go away. But one champion we haven't seen picked by either team or banned by either team and loves going late game is Nazebo. And he did get a massive buff. Oh my gosh. Hi, Admiral. How am I going to do this? All right. Let me get this in before we get this draft out of the way. Galahad isn't so great. Are you kidding me? When was the last time you saw a player with such ability and movement with the Fox? Galahad puts the game in another level, and we'll be blessed if we ever see a player with his skill and passion for the game again. Arn breaks records. Dark Knight breaks records. Galahad breaks rules. You can't keep your statistics. I prefer the magic. There you go. That's what you're getting. That's the best I could do. Rainer, going to be banned out by Wood League Airlines here. And Johanna being banned out by the Tar Pit Tipplers. So same bands coming out for Tar Pit Tipplers. Oh, it's the Vala Steel coming in for Wood League Airlines. A lot of Vala emphasis. being placed in these last two matches. And now it's going to be Yahtzee coming in. But Sonya was not banned. The Rainer was banned. That means Sonya's available and instantly picked up by Jadro. So Jadro going to get Sonya in game number 3. Epic delivery. And Lily going to be in game number 3. Michigan has played it very well in 2 games. Will we see it a game number 3? I'm like Zeratul. What's his saying? I live to serve. There you go. Or Artanis. My life for ire. My life for Twitch chat. Anyway, Anduin, Galahad gonna run it through. We've had Lily against Anduin all 3 matchups, and Chromie gonna be picked up by Zilla in game number 3. Chromie was banned out in game 1, didn't get banned in game 2, just didn't get picked up. But now here we are in game 3. Zilla gonna pull it out, and so we see the whole backline already formed by Woodley at Airlines. No assassins picked yet, and no tank picked by Tar Pit Tipplers, so they could really play around this backline, knowing what it is, and try and pick some sort of heavy engage into this. They at least know what's coming on the damage front. Tassadar going to be banned out by the Tar Pit Tipplers here. And now Woodley Airlines, they need to get rid of some heavy engage, something that can get through Chromie's stands. So get rid of the May, get rid of the Diablo. Really, Diablo's another very scary tank. I think you got to go tank ban here. Mal'Ganis. Okay. Not necessarily who I would choose, but they've got to have something with this comp. They have to have something sneaky in their back pocket. But Tar Pit Tipplers gonna go with the Deathwing again and take the Abathur. Wow. All right. Now I'm really excited for this match. We went all the way to game number 3, and we are seeing a Deathwing Abathur, y'all. This is gonna be spicy. What are we gonna round this out? We need the front line here. We need something very heavy in the front line. Arthas. They could go the Diablo, though. I don't think they go Diablo into a Deathwing. Oh, they could with the Abathur. They could actually very well go Diablo here with the APOC and, you know, stun the bug. But it's going to be ETC Leoric picked up. So Arn going to pick up the Leoric 3rd game in a row. And I don't even think I have a who will win game number 3. I don't have a who will win game number 3, so I have to get that set up. But last pick coming in, it's got to be a damage of some sort. Hyper carry. Zul'jin? No, Zul'jin's banned. Zeratul. All right. Zeratul going to be the final pickup by Tar Pit Tipplers. So we did say that this game typically always goes to level 20. I am actually very scared of Tar Pit Tipplers level 20. I definitely have to give the nod to Woodley Express throughout probably the first 16 levels of this game. I think Woodley Airlines, not Woodley Express. Sorry, I'm still stuck on last season. But Woodley Airlines 1 to 16, I think they have it. I think they have a very solid comp, and if they execute that comp, they're able to get the item advantage. They're able to aggressively invade camps. They're able to play very well around ETC getting Wash at 10. All of these things, I think they are going to look very strong. However, once 16 hits, I think this flip switches. So Woodley Airlines have to get enough pressure that when that switch gets flipped, they're able to have so much pressure already built up that they keep Tar Pit Tipplers on their heels instead of being the aggressors in this post-16 era. So it's going to be really fun looking at these two teams, how this whole game is going to play out. But for the final time in this epic 3-game series, let's get these two teams introduced. On the blue side, we have the Tar Pit Tipplers. We have Pyromania on the Zeratul, Hallstorm on the Deathwing, Jadro on the Sonya, Michigan on the Lily, and up in the top lane, we got Bud Lightyear on the Bug himself. Meanwhile, On the red side, we got Wood League Airlines. We got Zilla on the Chromie, Galahad on the Anduin, Dark Knight on the ETC, Yahtzee sitting on that Vala. And in the top lane, we got Aaron. 3 games in a row on the Leoric. And here we go, Vala going for the Creed of the Hunter. Gonna go for that single target burst. Gonna be vaulting all around the place. Globe stacks, Bleak stacks from the Zeratul coming out. Stacks from ETC with the Pog Rock. Crummy getting the extra vision. Abathur going all the way up into the top lane. Sonya already starting to soak up that bot lane. So we see teams already starting to commit to the off lane soak game. 4 men still there for the Wood League Airlines in the mid lane so far. The Bug just chilling up in the top lane. And this is where I want to see. We're going to follow this 4-man a lot of this game, because this is where I want to see the aggression come out from Wood League Airlines and scale the game. Meanwhile, Tar Pit Tipplers, their game plan is pretty much don't fall too far behind, pick up camps when we can get them. May have to give up this first objective point. That's okay. As long as we can delay and get to 16s, we are looking pretty darn good. A camp going to be picked up already from Wood League Airlines. Also have priority on the health camp right now, since the camp has not been picked up by Tar Pit Tipplers. They could easily rotate up and go ahead and get their prize up here. Tar Pit Tipplers finishing off their own fortification camp, getting their turret set up. It's going to be Deathwing picking it up. We see Wood League Airlines rotating to the bot lane, so neither team putting a lot of emphasis on that health camp quite yet. Zeratul going to roam up to the mid lane with Deathwing, kind of stay as a pair. Leoric trying to get a little bit of double soak action going on. And the 4-man of Wood League Airlines looking like they may want to set up a siege bot lane. They're down here, they're pressing. Maybe they're just going to get some pressure in the bot lane and force the side to respond to them. But Tar Pit Tipplers are here, and they're on the chase, it looks like. Lily going in, the stun coming out, but that's all they're going to do. Deathwing going to be that big body to block a lot of these sand blasts coming in from the Chromie. Vala currently on 4 stacks of Creed Hunter. 6 for ETC on the Pog Rock. That's actually pretty big. They've got the Sonya with the power slide. Vala putting a lot of damage down. Got all the way up to 11 stacks currently. Needs to keep auto-attacking champions. Hit the Deathwing. Gonna back off here. First objective coming on in 5 more seconds. And this one should be, for all intents and purposes, all Wood League Airlines. They should definitely have the advantage of this early objective. Go ahead and go pick up a siege camp. Fine. Giving up the early percentages. ETC going to just hold it as long as he can. The rest of the team is getting the siege minions. ETC going to get that soak in the bot lane. Doesn't want to miss anything important. Get to the early 7s. But nobody on Tar Pit Tipplers were able to get their camp or this health camp. They're going to get this early channel here. Which I don't think they necessarily need to. Maybe they're just trying to get as much percent as they can, and then they'll back off. Once the 7s come online, they'll probably just back themselves away. Zeratul taking a fair bit of damage here. Getting very, very low. Has to be careful. But Deathwing just continuing to hold the point as long as he can. Zeratul looking like he's coming back to fight over this point. Deathwing getting a 4-man stun there. The turret's all the way in the back, but Deathwing getting very, very low. Has to get himself away. Drops the turret himself. A big power slide coming in. Catches the Zeratul and the Sonya. Sonya falls. Zeratul barely gets away. And Wood League Airlines get the kills and are going to flip this thing back in their favor. And immediately ETC walks over and starts picking up this turret camp. Minions didn't get too much value. Abathur will get the Mule at level 7. So he's going to be able to heal this up nice and tidy. Make it look pretty again. Not only is Abathur a master of essence, he's a master craftsman as well. And now the camp being picked up by Tar Pit Tipplers. And it looks like they're going to rotate back and maybe make a second jab for this objective. Sonya gonna walk herself onto it. ETC making his way back. Tipplers are here. Deathwing walking himself down. Looks like we're gonna see another fight. Deathwing throwing down the Cataclysm early. All on top of at least 3 members there. The tower gonna go down, or the turret gonna go down, excuse me. We are in overtime here. But ETC getting a knockback there. Vala is gonna fall to the Zeratul, but Zeratul has to get himself out, is stuck in the sands. Zeratul is not, or sorry, Leoric is able to get the kill on the Sonya. The Yeet coming in from the Anduin. Zeratul will follow in total. The Abathur getting value here. Zeratul still alive at 54 HP, was able to find the Leoric, and they got the kill. But Chromie, sitting out of mana, tries to get that last Sandblast. I think it just skirted the tail of Deathwing. But this is the first objective being picked up by the side of Wood League Airlines. And they needed that. Now they're going to be able to use this objective, try and create some pressure up in the top lane, get themselves as much of this early pre-16 pressure as they can. ETC going to soak up the bot lane. Leoric going to push in this top lane as well. Deathwing going to land behind. They're going for the health fountain as the prize. That usually is the prize here, but they're neglecting some of these forts in the front. So they're going to take a little bit of extra damage there. Zeratul is here right on top of the Vala there. And Zeratul continuing to put down the damage. Gets the blink again. Does fall. So trades himself for the Vala, but Leoric may fall as well here. ETC has arrived. Going to get the power slide onto the Sonya. The Unstoppable popped nicely. The Mosh Pit just barely out of range. I think it did catch the Sonya. It did, but that was the only one it caught. Can't catch Deathwing in that party. Deathwing actually throwing out the Cataclysm here, saying, "You shall not pass this line." And that will be the end of the first objective. But you can see that was Zeratul before he had Might of the Nerazim. Now he has Might of the Nerazim. And now Zeratul going to be very, very scary to deal with this Abathur hat. Getting 4 blinks, essentially. 3 blinks, plus he's got the quest done. So he's going to have the reduced cooldown. So Zeratul going to be blinking all over this map, everyone. Just watch the amount of blinks that this guy is going to be able to pull off. Not going to chase the ETC there. But now Zeratul's on his way to 16. You can see how much difficulty Vala had handling the burst damage coming out of the Zeratul that first time. At 16, it gets even worse. Anduin did go the Holy Word of Salvation to try and keep everybody alive, so they're going to need the leap from Sonya to interrupt that Holy Word of Salvation. Here comes a leap, though, aggressively used onto the Chromie. Zeratul all the way in. Deathwing has arrived, and Chromie using the stasis to try and keep herself alive. Anduin running for his life here, uses the conveyor belt to get away, but Sonya going to make sure that doesn't happen. 2 kills going over to Tipplers. And Wood League Airlines, ooh, Entomb onto the Deathwing. Deathwing really can't walk out of that one, so Vala going to get the return. Nice pickup by Aaron there, but Vala has to get herself away. Zeratul does not have the Might of the Nerazim available, so cannot blink outside of that blink he just did. Vala will fall to the Sonya, however. She will get traded away, so it is a 1-for-1 trade there. Ultimately, a 3-for-2 trade when all is said and done. But Tipplers, they got about a quarter-level lead so far. Going to continue to try and press themselves. And again, they're getting close to that number 16. We're going to have one more objective fight before the 16s come online. Wood League Airlines, they're looking for that Mosh setup, but it's going to be very challenging. Really, all you need to catch it onto either the Zeratul or the Sonya, as there are no real interrupts. I mean, you can't do it onto the Deathwing, so Deathwing, as long as he has used his E, can't interrupt the Mosh. So Sonya really one of the only threats to the Mosh play. But if you can catch the Zeratul, that's the target you want. It's just a little difficult to find him. But this is full Sky to a T so far. Level 13s, no objectives have been taken yet because it's full Sky. Abathur doing an excellent job keeping structures very healthy. Did get spotted out by ETC there and the Chromie. Gonna have to burrow himself to safety. I think he interrupted it on his own. He was channeling and then he stopped. Nobody hit him. But Deathwing is here. The Lord of Terror has arrived, or not the Lord of Terror, the Dragon of Terror. Lord of Terror is not on this map, as much as I wanted to see him. But here we go, Zeratul roaming in. ETC found him. Does he get the Mosh? Oh, he doesn't get the Mosh. Had the team behind him, found the Zeratul, but didn't have the Sonya, didn't have eyes on Sonya, maybe afraid that Sonya could just use her leap to interrupt the Mosh on Zeratul, and then they wouldn't be able to get anything. But now we have the 13s online. All these teams getting in position to fight over this second objective. And this is the one where Woodley Airlines, again, they really need to get this objective. This is one they have a lot of priority on. Tar Pit Tippler is going to go pick up the support camp. I mean, I would see Woodley Airlines just come in here and take this. They've got the team fight advantage still. Not going to be able to get it, so definitely picks up the health camp. And now, 35% channel so far. We'll keep our eye on Zeratul as best we can. ETC is really going to try and keep his eye on Zeratul. That is the one you want to find. That is the one you need to get the mosh on. Sonya just going to walk all the way to the back line. The root goes down. ETC doesn't want to use the power slide quite yet. Trying to find Zeratul. He is revealed. Everybody backing off. Smartly so. They don't have to force a fight yet. They can get themselves repositioned to try to find another fight. Maybe poke down this Deathwing a little bit with the Chromie Vala. They're getting the damage down. Zeratul did dive in. ETC has the power slide. He's going in for the mosh. Gets the mosh there. The Sonya gets the leap to follow. Where do they be able to get the kills? There's the Entomb. Huge play coming in. The Salvation getting massive value here. Going to keep everybody healthy. Pyromania jumps right back into the middle of the team. The Unstoppable is popped. He's continuing to heal, but ETC gets himself away. Vala going to strafe and get very, very aggressive on this Lily, but that's 2 kills going over to Wood League Airlines, and that's the play they needed at this point in the game. Nice recognition from the ETC, looking for that Zeratul, being very, very patient, finally finds him, gets the power slide, gets the team on him. Sonya did get the leap, but Leoric made sure that Sonya got pretty much baited into it and then got a 2-man Entomb. And that is a huge pickup for Woodleeds Airlines. That's exactly what they need. Gonna have to try and get some map pressure here. I was almost curious if they were just gonna get this, but they're gonna get it with the Vala and the ETC. They're gonna send the Punisher, or the Protector, excuse me, all the way bot lane, but this actually will not fall. They're gonna have to get themselves out because everybody's coming top. That means the Protector is gonna get a lot of siege value bottom. And these two should get away, no problem at all in the top lane. But Woodleague Airlines gonna continue to press in the bot lane, and this is gonna be theirs. Actually, since everybody's not here, they can really push this up and they can open this wall too and set up a potential win condition with this next objective. We'll see what they elect to do. The rotations are coming down now, so it is probably better at this point to back themselves off since the objectives are actually Sonya coming in. Abathur using the evolution, and they want to continue to push this advantage of the bot lane. ETC is not here. They see that ETC is not here, seeing him on the minions in the top lane, so they can continue to siege this up. The evolution goes down. Deathwing trying to get the channel off, but the Protector actually getting some big value. There we go. Sonya leaping all the way in onto the backline. Cataclysm being popped by the Deathwing. Didn't drop the item there. She's spinning to win, but doesn't catch the Leoric, and the Protector gonna continue to just dance around in the middle of the team, so nobody ends up falling except the Vala. And that is going to be it for the Protector. But now, 16s online for Tar Pit Tipplers. And remember, we talked about that switch. It now just got flipped, and we'll see. Now it's Tar Pit Tipplers, and you know, looking at these talents, let me see what Zeratul win at 16. Yeah, okay, ooh, yeah, okay. He's going for auto attack, so he's really just gonna get in there and be able to get this Vala deleted. Also gonna be able to do some pretty significant damage to the Leoric and ETC as well. So that flip is getting switched now, and we'll see if ETC, it's really coming down to ETC for the side of Wood League Airlines. Since Chromie did not go the temporal loop because of the cleanse on Lily, it's really just coming down to, can ETC peel this Zeratul? Because this Zeratul about to get very, very scary. Next objective on the map is going to be the support camp. Everybody kind of set up around it right now. Nobody really in position to do much. High Admiral redeeming the highlight message. Tell Galahad you are proud of his Anduin. I am very proud of his Anduin. That was a fantastic Holy Word of Salvation. Really, really negated a lot of the damage coming in from Zeratul. So we talked about how important getting a good Holy Word of Salvation was going to be. Well, ETC did see the Sonya there, but she gets the 2-man leap. Definitely going to drop all the way, and ETC puts the mosh down, but didn't get it onto the Zeratul, so now we're going to watch. Sonya does fall, didn't get the turret off. Everybody fighting it, but Zeratul in the backline gets on the Vala first. Vala is gone. Anduin's going to be the next one to be focused here. Zeratul continuing to create havoc in the backline. Leoric trying to zone everyone off. The objective still picked up, and we've got a lot of turrets for Wood League Airlines being picked up. Zeratul, that was an actual beautiful time trap by Zilla there on the Chromie. Zeratul wasn't able to get on. Abathur was not on Zeratul in that fight. So that is a huge pickup for Wood League Airlines. It committed a lot of resources, but ultimately got the reward of getting the kills. And that is big, big death timers there. So huge, huge play coming in for Wood League. Oh, they catch the Lily. Michigan gonna have to run himself around the other direction. Respect the ETC. And big, big plays coming out there. I'll have to watch that fight again because Abathur didn't look like he was on Zeratul a large chunk of that fight. And Zeratul's like, bro, I need you. We drafted the Abathur Zeratul. So I'll have to go back and double check to see what happened there. But this is a big siege in the top lane. This keeps going down. And this Protector can be walked all the way up here. Cataclysm being thrown down by the Deathwing. They're trying to find the ETC. Throwing out the stun does catch the ETC. Zeratul's now up. But a big time trap. So, I mean, that really changed that fight, too. That time trap by Chromie catching the Zeratul was absolutely huge. It allowed them to get just enough peel. Oh, Zeratul's got to be careful here. The Mosh is going down. ETC had it, recognizing that the Zeratul was there, and Zeratul goes down. Big, big play by Dark Knight there, recognizing that I can catch Zeratul here. My team is here to support me, and we can potentially get this Zeratul before he's able to blink himself away. So big play coming in from Wood League Airlines there. A huge stagger onto Zeratul. And they're going to have to be content getting their level 20s without the Zeratul. I don't even know if they're going to be able to get this Protector contested. And Wood League Airlines going to go ahead and siege up this bot lane, try to get as much of a win condition set up in the bot lane as they can. Sonya, Abathur, Lily all on their way. Deathwing in the air. Evolution already used by the Sonya. Just going to try and put as much damage down as he can. Not going to get much. Just going to try and get over to the point. Maybe delay a little bit. But ultimately, Ultimate's back up line. He's given to ETC. ETC did go the amp at 13 to get the reduced cooldown on the Ultimate with the W. Sonya continuing to fight this ETC. Anduin going to heal it up. And here comes the Protector. 2 people are in. So of importance, ETC's out, which is good. But Zeratul can get the Abathur hat and get onto this Vala. Sonya always going in, caught everybody inside it. It's a 2-man. Here comes the Holy Word. Oh, big Rain of Vengeance coming in from the Vala there. Absolutely huge. Lily popping the jugs to keep everybody topped off. But Vala's Rain of Vengeance, Cataclysm being popped by Deathwing, but too little too late. Deathwing goes down. And this might be a big, big push in here. Zeratul and Sonya going to have to really work hard. The Abathur is just sitting there, and he's going to go down as well. Just sitting right behind the keep. So here comes Wood League Airlines pushing in with a game-winning push. It's going to be up to this Sonya Zeratul. See if Lily can keep them alive, but they really got to get onto this backline. They got to get quick. Oh, ETC landing a huge mosh, and why wouldn't he? Has been landing huge moshes all game. Big, big plays coming out of Airlines, and they are going to take game number 3 in the series 2-1. Airlines not scared at all of this 16 composition. Coming in from Tar Pit Tipplers, getting the pick plays with the ETC, and a huge interrupt with the Rain of Vengeance coming in Vala for that last fight, and the Airlines are going to take off for a 2-1 victory. GG's, well played by both of these teams. How about that? That was absolutely insane and such a fun series to cast. I'm so glad I was able to get to cast this one. I gotta get this prediction outcome. A little bit more voting going on for Tar Pit Tipplers that game, but it was Wood League Airlines that came out. 88% of you picking the win and gonna get the points. And holy guacamole, that was a lot of fun. Let me go ahead and message Galahad here real quick. See if we can get a possible interview. I'm going to go just chill in a lobby. See if somebody comes and joins me. But there are your stats. Big damage coming in from Vala yet again. 3 games in a row. Or at least 2 games in a row. I don't know if I can't remember if Vala's played all the way back on Infernal Shrines. I felt like Infernal Shrines was forever ago. Here we go. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. This is Galahad, everybody. Anduin extraordinaire. Played them all 3 games coming in. How's the team feeling?
We're feeling pretty great right now.
I mean, how could you not getting the 2-1 series win over Tarpit Tipplers? They were going to be a tough opponent, and you guys definitely had to bring your A game, taking this all the way to a game 3. Just talk to us a little bit real quick, how the scouting report was and what your guys' overall strategy was going into this matchup.
Well, overall, we all did a little bit of scouting, and we were kind of expecting basically what they kind of gave us. The one thing that kind of caught us off guard was the Valera game one. We didn't really see too much of that in any of our scouting. We were expecting that Rainer, though. Rainer was pretty good. We were also not expecting the Garrosh, or I wasn't at least. Which kind of really put us in a hard spot that second game. We just could not get away from any of it.
Sure.
And definitely also the ABBA pick was kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely seem to be pulling out some different picks going into this strategy into this series. Looking in there, the Valera in game one. It's not so often that we get to cast a Valera game, and then Abathur's Air Tool. Haven't seen that combination come out in a
Right.
competitive game in a long time. So it was a lot of fun being able to see all of these different compositions. But going back to Infernal Shrines, it looked like Infernal Shrines just wasn't quite going the way Woodley Airlines wanted to with those first few objectives. Talk about like kind of just what happened in that early game and why it felt like you guys just weren't able to get the better edge in some of those fights.
Well, in the very like for the first objective with that first Punisher, it was neck and neck right there. Like we only needed like one or two more like of the little
Yeah,
minions to
absolutely.
get the Punisher. Uh Plus we knew that their comp early on was gonna be a lot better than ours, especially with the Valera on the team. So we decided that we were gonna, play it safe ultimately. We don't want to give them any type of advantage in any of these fights in case it goes south.
Yeah, so
In
we
order for us to go ahead.
No, I was gonna say able to it was a very back and forth. I think each team was on that in control of that first shrine like twice, very back and
Hmm.
forth. And I don't think anybody died in that entire fight. I think it was after the fight had already ended, the Punisher's pushing where the first death came in. So it was a very
Hmm.
controlled, patient first objective. Second one didn't quite go your way, but then all of a sudden we get to that frozen Punisher in the bot lane. And like right before that fight broke out, I was like, whoever wins this fight can put a lot of damage on the other team depending on the outcome. And then I mean, holy guacamole! Blaze comes in and lands just a critical jet propulsion. The rest of the team was right there to follow up, and yeah, just talk us through how you guys kind of came back together and ultimately came back to win that first game.
Well, we knew it was gonna be a frozen Punisher, so we were, like you said, ready to put some hurt on the enemy team. We wanted to go ahead and get that fort for sure, and then hopefully take the keep. To be honest, I don't remember if we did or not. It's been a long night.
You
A lot of
actually
stress
did.
of winning
You did.
games.
Now you didn't have the Punisher. I was like, I want to see them keep sieging here, and you did, and you got the keep. I was super happy with that.
Yeah, we knew we had an advantage there. I believe we had one or two of them staggered at the time, so we were just gonna try and use that as much as we can, see if we can get another one or two more kills just to secure the keep. When we eventually did, I knew we needed the backup. We'd overstayed our welcome.
Yeah, but ultimately get coming away, get that team fight, get the keep, get enough map pressure, and then get the final fight over the final Punisher to really kind of put the nail in the coffin there. Win game number one, and then we go to Cursed Hollow. You guys actually picked that map, wanting to send us over to Cursed, and then they bring out the scary Garrosh, bring out the Rainer yet again, and kind of just it for how well game one when it came to just it felt like you guys could never really get in sync. So just talk a little bit briefly about what happened in that game number two.
Oh, we were all just a little off at that point. Like no one was really playing at their best. That's a really a, all it was. I mean, in the beginning, I guess we were hoping to get that Dahaka, but because
Hmm.
we saw him ban Brightwing, so we knew they are either going to get that or the Falstad. And when they got that Dahaka, I guess it just kind of threw us off our loop a little bit.
Okay. So it seemed like that was going to be a highly contested. We know Cursed Hollow definitely favors the global champions. The
Hmm.
Haka going to be one of those more sought off champions, but you guys do end up getting the Falstad. And then, yeah, it just it for whatever reason, it felt like the tar pit tipplers just they had an answer for everything, and I can being on the receiving end of that, it's kind of frustrating. Um, able to kind of collect yourselves again, though. Had a nice long break between games 2 and 3, and ultimately get sent to Volskaya. Were you guys expecting it to go to Volskaya, or were you anticipating more of like an Alterac Pass, since that's another big map that Tar Pit Tipplers just did very well on?
We were debating if they were going to send us to Volskaya or Alterac, to be honest. We were hoping Volskaya, which we did get, so we were a-okay with that. It is one of our more favorite maps. But
So you come
anyways,
out, and the draft phase happens, and you talked about it earlier. They pull out, excuse me, the Zeratul Abathur, and you're just like, oh boy, anybody who knows that composition with the Sonya Leap Engage knows that that composition, once they get to their 16, suddenly it's one of the scariest things that you could possibly go into.
oh yeah.
And so what were the comms like in those late game fights where it was just like, we got to find some way not to just lose our entire back line in 2 seconds.
We realized that at 10, that what I personally waited to pick my ult once to see what the Sonya and the Zeratul were going, because they
Hmm.
were going to be the two people that could interrupt Holy Word the most.
Hmm.
Sonya has a spear, the leap. Once I thought she went the leap, I was like, okay, either ult will still work here. And then once I saw the Zeratul go Might of the Nerazim instead of Void Prison, that's when I realized that we could definitely use Holy Word to save it.
Okay.
Especially because that Zeratul, man, holy crap,
Yeah.
just jumped on Yahtzee every chance he could.
Yeah, and then when you get a Zeratul, a Might of the Nerazim Zeratul, who finishes the level 1 quest. I mean, it's the amount of stick pressure and blow up pressure he has onto seemingly some of the squishiest targets in the game in Vala and Chromie, and really doesn't have to worry about going through Chromie's sands. It could be devastating to a backline. So major props. I was commenting on ETC, like going to be able to on that ETC to be very patient and use this power slide absolutely critically to make sure that that Zeratul gets peeled and destroyed before he can literally do what a 16 Zeratul does with an Abathur, is destroy your whole backline with a smile on his
Yeah.
face. So I had to give major shout outs to ETC there. But ultimately, at what point did you guys go from, all right, let's just try and slow boat this game, to, what, wait a minute, we're really in command, let's put the pedal to the metal and try to end this thing?
I think it was after that second protector, and once tens came online around that time, because we knew they were going to keep doing the same thing over and over.
Hmm.
The only time we really felt like we were in trouble is when they got that invade off in the on our turret camp.
Yeah.
That didn't feel as great, but once we saw they kept going in, we're like, wait, that wasn't a bright idea.
Yeah. I
But
mean, the comp screams go, go, go. So you knew they're coming at you. I
mhm,
mean, Holy Word definitely saving a lot of fights, especially that I think it was a top protector where the Zeratul jumped in and Deathwing put the Cataclysm down, and like none of it did any damage to you guys
yeah.
because of the Holy Word. So major props there. But ultimately coming away with a 2-1 victory. Well done. I got to always ask at the end of any series, who do you think your team MVP was for this kind of long drawn out marathon of a series?
Well, our team went ahead and unanimously agreed that we're going to go ahead and give that to Dark Knight on ETC.
All
We
right.
would not have been able to win tonight with if we did not have the leadership that Dark brought us today.
Yeah, Dart.
So
I mean, gotta give major props. At least for game three. I mean, I
yeah.
remember Dark Knight game 1 and 2, and then game 3. I was like, okay, we really got to pay attention to this ETC and watch what he does. And he definitely put on a very nice clinic for everybody watching on what you have to do to prevent a Zeratul from just obliterating your backline. So
Hmm.
huge props there. But last things last, I'm going to open it up for you. Any shout outs you'd like to give to Twitch chat? A lot of Wood League Airlines fans coming out, throwing all sorts of copy pastas, it looks like, in the chat. So
Oh boy.
floor is yours.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you all for coming out to watch this series. Hopefully, we were entertaining enough. Once again, big shout out to my team. You did well tonight. And I also want to go ahead and give a shout out to Tar Pit Tipplers. Thank you for the games tonight. You guys were honestly one of our toughest opponents we've had to face yet. Really fun games, and I wish you guys the best of luck in your next games.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Galahad, for coming in. Congratulations again on the 2-1 victory. Looking for more fun things to come from Wood League Airlines as this season progresses and ultimately a nice little playoff run here at the end of the season.
Oh yeah. Hopefully.
Alrighty. Take care, bud, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Galahad. The end win from all three games coming out from Wood League Airlines. Very, very fun series from both teams, back and forth. Tarpit Tipplers, I mean, they put on a really good show in that game number two. And game one, they were comfortably in it. Just felt like that a couple of little things need to be polished off with this composition in game three, but they were definitely showing a lot of good signs as this series progressed. So let me go back through. I know there's a lot of other things that I may have missed during the interview. I do apologize. Real quick, I definitely want to give a shout out to everybody coming in today, dropping all the follows. So I'll throw it out again. Haas, Mighty Mouse, Ochi Tunnel, Charleston, E-Cypher, Yats is a Queen. Thank you all so much for the follows. Raka, thanks again for the raid. Always appreciate a Raka raid. Love that channel. Lots of good lots of good HOTS action. So if you want to jump over there, drop her a follow. You'll get to see more HOTS on her channel than you see here. I try to get as much, but she does double. And then Hi Admiral coming in with the subscriptions. Weena's giving out the gifted subs as well. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Definitely appreciate it. Hope you had a lot of fun. Like I said, I wasn't planning on casting. I actually have to run real quick. I was supposed to do a replay review with one of my teams, do some coaching. And so I got to get over and do some of that. But hope you had a lot of fun. Heroes coming up this next week. I'm going to be having a Storm League match coming up that I'll be casting here in the upcoming week. And then I'll just throw up my schedule probably on Sunday afternoon for what I have coming up in the following week. But if you enjoyed yourself, you like the channel, make sure you drop a follow. I always send a notification when I go live, so you will see me there.